The Knight King of Delusion. Struggling to make ends meet, Arthur's parents quietly unraveled under the pressure of daily life. Eventually, they could no longer bear the weight of raising a child. One strange evening, Arthur noticed his father staring deeply into his worn hat. That moment, insignificant to others, ignited something powerful within Arthur. His imagination. His father, knowingly or not, sparked a vision that would shape the boy's reality. The next morning, Arthur woke to find himself alone. His parents had vanished, leaving behind a note. "We've gone to save the world." In his eyes, they had become a king and queen, departing on a noble quest, entrusting a castle, an apartment, to their son, the young knight. Arthur later applied to the Special Fire Force Academy, eventually joining Company 8. From the moment he arrived, he clashed with his fellow recruit Shinra. Their heated argument escalated into a rooftop duel, only to be cut short when Lieutenant Hinawa ordered them both to spar against Maki. Arthur, unable to defeat her, humbly surrendered, throwing in his metaphorical white flag. When offered the standard Fire Force battle axe, he refused. He already had his weapon, Excalibur, a glowing blade made from his third generation pyrokinetic powers, hot enough to turn into plasma. To Arthur, it was more than enough to bring peace to Infernals. Early missions and Joker's appearance. On their first mission, Arthur and Shinra were reprimanded by Captain Obi for drawing their weapons in front of the victim's grieving family. Though Obi's rebuke was stern, Arthur's heart remained fixed on his knightly ideals, and soon after, he respectfully laid the Infernal to rest. Later, Arthur participated in the Rookie Fire Soldier games. Slicing his way into the arena, he quite literally ran into Tamaki. When Joker appeared in the shadows, Arthur, believing this to be part of the exercise, launched a series of attacks. None landed. As danger escalated, he carved a hole into the ceiling, allowing Shinra to carry them out of the soon-to-explode building. Rising power and delusion. Arthur's strength continued to grow, especially during a battle between the 8th and the 5th Companies. Though forced to fight with his non-dominant hand, Arthur ultimately switched back, defeating his opponent with his signature technique, Violet Flash. In the Asakusa arc, his instincts shone when the enemy used the twins to impersonate villagers. So the white-clad Yona was impersonating the villagers and made a bunch of copies. Arthur alone was able to discern the imposter, a testament to his sharp intuition masked by eccentric behavior. As a third-generation pyrokinetic, Arthur commands plasma-based flames, often manifesting as his beloved sword, Excalibur. To outsiders, he appears arrogant and aloof, often ignoring formalities and responding with grunts. But his delusions serve a deeper purpose. They protect him. His fantasy of being a noble knight allows him to make sense of the world and his abandonment. He calls women maidens, sees his allies as fellow knights, and reimagines his surroundings as castles and battlegrounds. When he feels knightly, Arthur becomes stronger, his delusion empowering him. But if the illusion breaks, he loses morale and power. Despite his poor critical thinking skills, his instinctual combat ability is unmatched. Even Haumea recognized his purpose, to guard Shinra's heart when Shinra began to despair. Arthur reminded him of his role as a hero, because heroes never give up. The Vulcan Workshop arc. In the Vulcan Workshop arc, Arthur's strengths and vulnerabilities were on full display. With his cape and makeshift steed, he was nearly unstoppable. But upon realizing his horse was actually a donkey and his Excalibur just scrap metal, his confidence and powers plummeted. His reflection seen by Maze, I believe, or Mist. A foolish boy struck him harder than any enemy ever could. Into the Nether and beyond. During the Nether arc, Arthur called upon his training with Benimaru, learning of the breath of life, to resist Mirage. Mirage is the character I was talking about earlier. Mirage's illusions. He refined his EI caliber technique and discovered that his plasma sword could even deflect Haumea's mind control. When Shinra fell under the first pillar's influence, Arthur didn't hesitate. He warned Shinra that if he didn't return to his senses, he would strike him down. That's how serious his code of honor had become. Arthur and Shinra returned to train with Benimaru, seeking the secret to hysterical strength. There, Arthur learned the press of death, a final test of will, and a foreshadowing of the battles to come. The duel with Dragon. Arthur's encounter with Dragon was the height of his mythic journey, and to be honest, my favorite fight of Fire Force. Ecstatic to face such a worthy rival, Arthur entered the fight full of zeal, but was quickly overwhelmed. Dragon shook off every attack. In a final burst of hope, Arthur unveiled his holy killing dragon sword, only for it to shatter on contact. Defeated, Arthur fell unconscious. In the aftermath, Arthur spiraled into depression, clutching the remains of his broken Excalibur. He drifted, lost in failure. Vulcan, ever the craftsman and friend, forged him a new blade from legendary metal, imbued not with powers, but with belief. Vulcan's faith in Arthur and his love for Lisa and you reignited the Night King's resolve. Vulcan's love for Lisa and you. When Dragon returned, Arthur stood ready. Their clash shook the heavens. Dragon praised Arthur's growth, acknowledging him as a worthy rival. When their battle brought them to a volcanic summit, Arthur infused with thundercloud energy, launched his eightfold violet flash, wounding Dragon at last. But the battle wasn't over. The final clash, Earth, Sky, and Stars. Dragon hurled Arthur into the sky, and soon their duel continued in space. As oxygen slipped away, Arthur activated his star ring, unlocking the full potential of Adala. Their battle became cosmic, destroying stars, pushing the limits of reality. They traded fatal blows. Arthur lost his left eye, then his left arm. He pressed on, remembering his promise to Vulcan to return alive. He steels himself for death. With his body broken and his mind unwavering, Arthur unleashed his final move, the Violet Flash, Earth Divider, slicing Dragon and the planet in two. Dragon smiled in death. He found peace, grateful to have met the only one who could match him and surpass him. Arthur, battered and bleeding, acknowledged the weight of his injuries. "It'll be really hard to recover," he muttered, smiling faintly. Then he closed his eyes and let go of Excalibur. At last, Arthur Boyle had become what he always dreamed of, the Night King.